In the middle of the night, expert hitman Jason Renshaw drives to the location of his next victim, parking outside the toy factory to do some surveillance first. Inside, famous toy maker Hans Morris is at the workshop checking on the latest production of toys. He makes sure everything is going well and leaves for last a limited edition box with a beautiful fairy music box that plays a calming tune. Charmed by the fairy, Hans takes her with him, closing the workshop behind him. Then he makes to his office, which he must access with a special keycard. There he stares at a picture of his mother, who signed it with love and a little funny face. When Jason sees Hans in his office, he gets ready to work. He covers both shoes, puts on gloves, and makes sure his gun has the silencer on. He also puts on a mask and a hat to hide his face. Soon the security guard hears a noise and leaves his office to find a phone at the entrance with a message saying that it is a bomb about to explode. When the countdown begins, the guard panics and uses his keycard to open the door. Then he grabs the phone intending to toss it away. However, Jason catches him by surprise and quickly puts him to sleep with a tranquilizer dart. Then he grabs the phone and turns it off before stealing the guard's keys. After taking the dart and hiding the body, Jason makes his way inside and checks the security cameras, noticing another guard coming in. Jason turns all the cameras off with the stolen key and goes after the other guard, shooting him with another tranquilizer. Then he jumps on the guard and grabs him to throw him on the ground, holding him until the sedative kicks in. Jason hides this body too and goes upstairs, opening the CEO office with the guard's keycard. Hans stands up as soon as he sees him and barely gets to whimper before Jason shoots him several times, quickly killing him. Afterward, Jason checks Hans' pulse to be sure he is dead and sees that the mother's picture frame broke when the body fell, noticing the weird signature. He also finds the music box and listens to the music before taking it with him. Moments later, Jason is on a plane flying home. He uses a burner phone to text the person that hired him, telling them to confirm Hans' death on the news and to send the money. When the passenger next to him asks him if he has any gum, Jason opens his bag to get it and is startled by the fairy, which is starting to look creepy. The other passenger is confused by his reaction, but Jason just smiles normally as he gives her the gum. Hours later at the airport, Jason sees on the news that Hans' death is already public knowledge and the cops know a hitman did it. Then Jason takes the escalator and is creeped out by a baby toy carried by a girl. He is so uncomfortable that he has to look away. Eventually, Jason returns to his apartment building and cannot help noticing another toy on the front desk, which also belongs to Hans' brand. Once he returns to his apartment, Jason sees the toy duck he left in his pool, which makes him so nervous that he decides to leave it out in the balcony. After taking a shower, Jason gets the fairy music box from his bag and puts it in the glass cabinet where he keeps a memento of every person he has killed. Then he checks his computer and sees his payment has been wired. There is also another job ready for him in London. But first, Jason decides to take a nap. In the evening, Jason wakes up to the sound of the doorbell and he checks the security camera to see the receptionist dropping a package at his door. Jason brings it in and notices there is no sender information. However, he notices the same little face he saw on the picture of Hans' mother. Using a knife, Jason starts opening the package very carefully, expecting it to be a trap. After slowly cutting the paper, he is surprised to find a box of toy soldiers that includes their weapons and even vehicles. The brand logo indicates this is from Hans' factory, and there is a sticker announcing a bonus surprise. Once again, moving very carefully, Jason opens the box just a bit and uses a flashlight to make sure it is not a bomb. Then he fully opens the box and confirms they are just a bunch of toys. A confused Jason takes another look at the paper to look at the little face and stays suspicious, so he takes a closer look at a soldier too. However, he sees nothing strange about it, so he drops it and goes to his bar to get a soda can. Suddenly, Jason hears a noise and sees that the toy box has fallen off the counter. Getting nervous again, Jason stares at it for a moment before checking the other side of the counter for any funny business. There is nothing there, so he comes to the box again and is shocked to find it empty. At that moment, the curtains rattle and Jason rushes to look behind them, but once again he finds nothing. Then a lamp goes off on its own, and when Jason goes to check on it, he discovers the plug cable has been cut off. Next, he sees a light going off in the kitchen too. When he goes closer to investigate, he feels something hurting his foot. Jason jumps back and grabs the mysterious object that stabbed him, only to discover it is a toy army weapon. Then Jason crouches to look under the furniture and something opens fire at him with tiny bullets. He immediately moves to hide as he touches the small scars, confirming the bullets are tiny but still cause damage. When he tries to take another look, the fire starts again and even a small missile flies out, hitting him on the leg with an explosion hot enough to burn his pants and his flesh. Jason rolls on the floor to hide behind a step, and when the fire continues, he rushes to hide in the bathroom. After checking his wounds on the big mirror, Jason grabs a smaller one and opens the door just enough to take a peek. The fire is still going, slowly destroying all the lights and electronics in the apartment. A missile even hits a lamp and starts a small fire. Suddenly the bullets stop, only for Jason to finally be noticed by the enemy. Another missile is shot and destroys the mirror, causing the shards to hurt Jason. He immediately closes the door and takes the shards off his skin, noticing he has more wounds now. Since this bathroom is attached to his bedroom, he rushes to his nightstand and grabs the gun he keeps hidden there. Then Jason comes out and starts firing back at the enemy, who is hiding under the couch. The bullets keep on hurting him, but this time he manages to dodge the incoming missiles. Quickly crossing the apartment, Jason reaches his bar and drinks some alcohol straight from the bottle before grabbing another hidden weapon. He opens fire again, this time while approaching the couch and moving other furniture out of the way. When the enemy is not shooting anymore, he removes the cushions from the couch and starts shooting at it as he screams. Once he runs out of bullets, he grabs his previous gun and harshly turns the couch over to finally see his opponent, the toy soldiers from the box. A bunch of them are dead, but the survivors are regrouping and gathering any vehicles or weapons. Jason steps on two of them before the others open fire again, causing him to retaliate with more shots. Meanwhile, a few soldiers manage to get on their helicopters, which suddenly fly out and start shooting missiles. Jason ducks just in time and the missiles start destroying his bar with small but powerful explosions. Then the helicopters fly right into Jason's face and hands, cutting him with their rotors and causing him to drop the gun. Jason quickly gets it back and shoots one of the helicopters down, but this only gives the others an opening to start shooting missiles at him again. Jason has no choice but to run back into the bathroom. After locking the door, he looks in the mirror and is shocked to see how much he is bleeding. With trembling hands, he washes the wounds and disinfects them, which has him groaning in pain. He also drinks some water to calm down before carefully bandaging his hand. Suddenly a missile makes a hole in the door and a toy helicopter flies in. Jason thinks fast and uses a towel to capture it, then he throws it on the ground to furiously stomp on it. At that moment another helicopter comes in and shoots a missile, but the explosion is not enough to stop Jason. He grabs his gun and opens fire, causing the helicopter to fly out of the bathroom. Jason makes sure the helicopter is not outside the door, then he retrieves the towel and tosses the broken toys into the toilet before flushing them. Now he can use the towel to cover the hole in the door. Hearing noises inside the toilet, Jason flushes it again, however the rattling continues. He hits the lid to no avail, so next he grabs the hair dryer and throws it in the toilet too. The resulting short circuit kills the soldiers, but also kills the lights in the bathroom. Not knowing what else to do, Jason sits down and waits. He finds some needle and thread so he uses them to stitch the cut on his leg. After drinking some water, he notices a bug spray fell from the cabinet and puts it in his pocket as an extra weapon. At that moment he sees something moving by the door and he gets ready to shoot, only to see a piece of paper being pushed in. After the soldiers leave, Jason grabs the paper and finds the word surrender, so he writes an insult on it before sending it back. Then he moves the towel to look outside and finds the soldiers firing a cannon. Jason dodges just in time as the cannonball makes an even bigger hole in the door. The shots keep coming, destroying the door more and more until there is barely any wood left. Jason has no choice but to climb out the window, which puts him on a very narrow edge above the city. Very carefully, Jason walks around the edge and hides behind the wall right before the helicopter comes out, so he is not seen. Then Jason continues moving, walking very slowly towards another window. At that moment he is found by the helicopter, which shoots him in the face once before it runs out of bullets. Jason manages not to fall and shoots back, running out of bullets too. However, one is enough to light the helicopter on fire and make it crash. Afterward Jason continues to move on the edge of the building while dealing with a very painful wound in his ear. By holding onto a pipe, he moves around the building and ends up falling, but luckily he lands in his balcony. Hiding behind his grill, he peeks inside and sees the soldiers regrouping to make a new plan with their last cannon. Trying to think of something, Jason looks at the grill and finds the duck, a lighter, and an extinguisher. Seconds later, the duck appears swimming on the pool. The soldiers approach it to investigate, which leaves the door area free for Jason to come inside. He surprises the soldiers by using the extinguisher on them only for a second team to approach him from behind, quickly opening fire and destroying one of the mementos in the cabinet. Jason struggles with the lighter but eventually turns it on and combines it with the bug spray, creating a flamethrower that he uses to burn the soldiers down. The toy truck ends up crashing against the furniture and Jason yells in satisfaction before he turns the flames on the rest of the soldiers. Once he has done enough damage, he grabs a knife and cuts all the soldiers in a bunch of pieces. He also stabs one just to look at it wiggle in pain. Suddenly the soldiers and the foam shoot down the duck as the extinguisher finally runs out. Before they can shoot Jason too, he hits them with their own box. Thinking it is finally over, Jason gathers all the broken toys and takes a closer look, but he finds nothing special about them. He counts them all and checks the numbers on the box to be sure nobody escaped, then he throws them in the garbage disposal and turns it on to turn the toys into dust. After cleaning his wounds properly, Jason gets in his pool to relax. Suddenly he hears a noise and feels something hurting his arm. He immediately gets out of the pool and looks at the water, but he sees nothing strange. The cut on his wrist is quite deep, so Jason wraps a towel around it before moving to hide in his bedroom. There, he tries to stitch the wound, however his hands are shaking so badly that he cannot even thread the needle. In the end Jason just bandages the new wound and gets dressed before coming out. Always keeping an eye on his surroundings, he grabs the magnet with the emergency numbers from his fridge and starts walking backwards to leave the apartment without being attacked by surprise. Jason presses the button in the elevator to get going but still cannot relax because he hears something moving on the roof. The noise then starts moving, indicating something has gotten inside the elevator mechanism. Suddenly there is a shot and the panel explodes, causing the lights to go out and the elevator to stop. Then the hatch on the ceiling opens, revealing one more soldier. This one is bigger and stronger than the others. As the soldier jumps inside, Jason tries to follow it with his puny flashlight, however it moves too fast and starts cutting Jason's legs. It also jumps and adds a deep cut to his other arm, which Jason quickly covers with his belt to avoid bleeding out. When Jason turns around, he sees the soldier growling at him from the panel before it climbs out through the hatch. At that moment 2 explosions happen on top of the elevator, making it shake. A desperate Jason jumps a couple of times until he reaches the hatch and he climbs out too, discovering he is stuck between floors. Suddenly another explosion goes off at his feet and he sees the soldier above him getting ready for a kill. Jason also sees a second elevator coming, so he jumps on top of it to escape. As the elevator goes down, Jason jumps inside it and makes a painful landing. He presses a button thinking he's safe, however the soldier has followed him by hiding on his shoe and is now climbing on his body. It growls at him and Jason growls back before the soldiers start stabbing him, only to be quickly pushed off. At that moment the elevator arrives at the reception and the doors open, but Jason passes out. The soldier comes closer to finish its job, only to discover Jason was pretending. He grabs the toy and pushes it to the edge, where the door is about to close. The little man holds its arms out to stop them, but it is not strong enough and the door closes anyway, crushing it to death. Then Jason hears a beeping noise and takes a closer look at the toy's body, discovering a bomb in its bag. He laughs in defeat before the bomb explodes, causing a huge blast that sends flames through the whole tunnel. Back in the apartment, the sticker comes off the box revealing the bonus surprise written by Han's mother, a commando and a thermonuclear weapon. In the cabinet, the fairy plays its song. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.